very good morning to you, Grenada, and the rest of the world. Pilgrims, it's a Thursday morning here on the Spice Isle. Feels good to be alive, doesn't it? It is sunny, it is peaceful, and we are thankful that we live on this little rock. I'm George Grant. Welcome to today's edition of Gudday Grenada. We're glad that you're with us, and I do promise you that it's going to be an interesting program. A little bit shortened this morning, and you'll find out why in just a wee bit. But right now, let's take a look at the rundown, see what good things we're going to get into over the next few minutes. First of all, the government of Grenada has responded to the trades union's pension proposal. Yeah, that came late yesterday afternoon. That's one of the things we're going to look at. I'll share with you the statement that they put out. In addition to that, I don't know if you heard the news, man, but yesterday all over the place, word that our next door neighbor, St. Vincent, has legalized marijuana for medicinal purposes. Yumma. We're going to show you a couple of video clips coming out of St. Vincent yesterday. And then, of course, we do have the national report from the GIS that came in last night. And one little matter here that has me a little bit saddened. Yeah, Allan has been excused today. He's preoccupied elsewhere. We're going to miss him. But nevertheless, I'm sure that he's going to be with us in spirit. So he's not going to be around this morning. And I know that many of you are disappointed, like me. And finally, we're going to take a look at a beautiful picture outside there this morning. I'm not going to show you live pictures, but today there are two, not one, but two huge, and I mean huge, cruise ships. And they are both making their inaugural calls to Grenada. Yeah. I'm going to show you pictures of those ships, not only the exteriors, but we're also going to take you inside and show you what some of those monsters look like on the inside. Okay? So that's what we've got coming your way this morning. Now, let's get down to brass tacks. Late yesterday afternoon, government responded to the pension proposal submitted by the public sector trades unions and staff associations. Following the intervention, and this is a statement, by the way, that I'm reading from the GIS, following the intervention by the then acting Minister of Labour, Honourable Anthony Boson, some weeks ago, government has provided a new proposal to the trade unions last Tuesday. Government's new proposal offers prepayment of pension or gratuity of 8%. The unions and staff associations subsequently submitted a new proposal to government on December 8th, in which they are still seeking the same 25% gratuity based on the 1958 formula. The unions have also requested additional data to help provide the technical basis for their demands, which the government has agreed to provide. Government maintains that the union's current demand will break the fiscal responsibility law and also negatively affect the country's debt to GDP ratio, which has been reduced significantly with the homegrown structural adjustment program. Further, reversing the gains made on lowering the debt to GDP ratio runs counter to the agreement with the International Monetary Fund, and it will jeopardize millions of dollars in potential funding for various projects expected to come on stream in 2019. Additionally, says the statement, if government accedes to the union's demands, its ability to fund programs such as Imani, house repair, school books and uniforms, and many others will be significantly compromised. Friday, December 14th, that's tomorrow, is the date set for the resumption of negotiations. Government looks forward to a speedy and amicable resolution to this matter. Now, what you've just heard is a statement that was issued by the GIS yesterday afternoon on behalf of the government of Grenada. The statement was published last night, and unfortunately we were not able to reach any of the union officials last night, but just as well, because I imagined that since this release came out late yesterday, it's going to take them some time to absorb, what you just heard and formulate a response. So I do believe that we can expect a response later on today, since negotiations are scheduled to resume tomorrow. Okay? So, there you have it. That's our first little segment here this morning. I see that on Facebook, T.F. Richards is saying good morning to you, brothers and sisters. Hi, Mags. Mags is saying good morning, everyone. And Sonia McKay-John is also saying good morning, George. Good morning, Sonia. Hey, thanks a lot for joining us. Now, let's move into something which I think is going to raise a couple of eyebrows. Okay? Yeah. When I saw this yesterday, put it up on the site, and needless to say, it's creating a buzz. In a first, which is likely to impact the North American and Canadian medicinal marijuana industry, St. Vincent and the Grenadines has made history as the first OECS member state to decriminalize, for medicinal purposes and scientific research, the production of the coveted crop under a tightly controlled framework. Speaking from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Agriculture Minister Saboto Caesar said that the passing of the bill in Parliament on December 11th, that's a couple of days ago, signified that the Caribbean island is now positioned to become a globally leading medicinal cannabis hub, not only in terms of high quality production, but research. I quote here, my friends, "The planning of this innovative industry has been carefully conducted over a long period of time in close consultation with the agricultural sector and many different stakeholders to reach the level of maturity we see today. There is broad recognition and buy-in of the economic benefits this tightly controlled and regulated industry is expected to bring in terms of direct employment, the creation of support industries, and foreign investment." St. Vincent and the Grenadines is unique in that our growing conditions are suited to producing the highest quality grade medicinal cannabis available on the global market. And this is recognized with the increase in investor sentiment and inquiries we are receiving, both regionally and abroad, said Minister Caesar. Okay? OECS Director General Dr. Didacus Jews congratulated OECS Chairman and SVG Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves and Minister Saboto Caesar on their bold leadership in the creation of a modern medicinal cannabis industry framework. He said that on behalf of the OECS Commission, he would like to particularly recognize Minister Saboto Caesar as the youngest parliamentary representative at the age of 37 for his tireless dedication to unlocking economic opportunities through agriculture for the OECS region. Traditional cultivators, stakeholders, and others have joined the government in celebrating the passing of the bill as the government now moves to direct its focus towards implementation of the legal framework for the production of medicinal marijuana. Folks, let's spend a couple of minutes now listening to Dr. Ralph Gonsalves.
We have to craft an industry within the framework of the existing international obligations which St. Vincent and the Grenadines have under the international conventions dealing with narcotics. Medicinal marijuana is permitted, medicinal cannabis is permitted, and we are having a regulated industry. We are also making provision for an amnesty to be given for traditional cultivators who want to come into the mainstream of the medical cannabis industry. And this medical cannabis industry is fashioned largely as an export industry. Of course, we will have people in St. Vincent and Grenadines who will be prescribed cannabis for a medical condition. And also we will have tourists coming here for health and wellness purposes where cannabis may be prescribed for medicinal purposes. And in addition, we are making 2 ounces, that is 56 grams, a possession of which you wouldn't suffer any incarceration. Because the problem is that persons with a couple spliffs smoking behind the grandmother house or on the block, too many persons have been criminalized needlessly for small quantities. That is not part of the cannabis bill itself, but there's another bill on the other paper dealing with an amendment to the Drugs Misuse Act. And that is essentially where the government is. The opposition doesn't think that we have gone far enough. They want to, as the reggae song says, legalize it. And at least they want us to begin to decriminalize, not to decriminalize, but to legalize the possession of 2 ounces. Well, that would have repercussions in relation to our international obligations. I don't think that they have studied the international dimension of this. In any event, even with the medical cannabis industry, we have to work hard and smart, because this industry will become competitive. But more than that, we are already having challenges as to how to bank whatever monies, whatever resources come from the medical cannabis industry. Because under the pressure of the United States, banks which have corresponding banking relations with American banks are being advised not to have anything to do with it, on pain of they themselves suffering sanctions from the Treasury Department in the United States. So you have to maneuver this industry through a set of practical considerations. We begin from the standpoint that marijuana has beneficial uses, but it can be abused and misused. And that is why we are having a medical cannabis industry regulated for the purpose of the beneficial uses. And that is why we are not going beyond the decriminalization in respect of up to 2 ounces, where you wouldn't have a custodial sentence, but only to the extent that you don't have a custodial sentence, but it will still be a matter which you will be taken to court on if you don't pay a fixed penalty. And we have made the provision that for small quantities it wouldn't be part of your record. So we have moved in a manner to comply with all our international obligations, and at the same time move forward with an industry which we believe would be viable. There's not a big local market for an industry located only in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It has to be fashioned for export, and it has to be fashioned also for bringing people here for the purposes of medical health tourism. These are practical considerations. For those who think mindlessly, free it up. It may sound good to some people, but we have to bear in mind all the international obligations, and we have to bear in mind too that marijuana has, in addition to beneficial uses, properties which could be misused and abused and which could be injurious to your health. These are well-known facts. The science speaks to all of these considerations. So we believe that we have come with a bill or set of bills which in fact accord with what the majority of people of Vincentians think. We did a poll, Peter Wickham did a poll for us in July, and we had questions in the poll. I'm talking about our party. We had questions in the poll on this matter. Overwhelmingly, people support medicinal marijuana, but 61% of the people don't want us to decriminalize for recreational purposes. But we are balancing that view with the realization that a lot of young people who smoke marijuana are needlessly imprisoned. And for small quantities, we would say that there would be no prison term, but there will be a fine. And that fine would be dealt with as a civil debt. So we are moving up a sensible, practical direction forward, but yet taking account of issues which could be misused and abused.
You mentioned earlier tourism, persons coming to St. Vincent and the Grenadines for health and wellness. What are some of the anticipated benefits of this newly established industry?
Well, if you have a hotel and persons want to have marijuana here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for their medicinal purposes, they'd be prescribed by a doctor if they have a condition which is laid out in the law for which cannabis can be supplied. And there are several conditions which have been listed in the law, which are listed in the law, to be satisfied. Any one of those, or a combination of those, the doctor will be able to prescribe, and you'd be able to go to the pharmacy and get it. It's a very sensible, practical law. You know, there are a number of people who get beyond themselves and think at the end of the proverbial medical marijuana rainbow, there's a metaphoric pot of gold. There's no pot of gold there. You have to work hard and smart, because this is a pharmaceutical industry. It's a medicinal industry. You can't grow it any other way, any old way. You have to grow it in accordance with specific standards, and the bill sets out those standards. There are some people who want it to just grow, quote unquote, wild. You can't do it that way. We are accustomed in agriculture. In bananas, for instance, we had Europe Gap standards. Farmers had to comply with standards. And that is a fruit which you're eating. Much less to you being prescribed for medication. So I don't go along with some of the wilder notions. Clearly, something has to be done. And we have put the issue on the agenda. Before I called for the CARICOM Commission in 2013, when I wrote CARICOM on it, and sat in on the discussions to set up the commission, nobody in this country was talking about it seriously. They were afraid of the subject. But now that I've broached the subject and opened it, typical opposition politics ain't gone far enough. But they're involving themselves in a lot of demagoguery, and they will suffer for that demagoguery at the polls, because they think it's only a handful of people who don't want to have recreational marijuana openly. The bulk of the people in the country don't want it that way, as reflected, for instance, in the opinion of the churches. I'm not taking the opinion of the churches as absolute on any question, but I give that as an example. And you follow it too. You read the stuff in the newspapers. In fact, some of them don't even support how far we have gone, much less to want to go further. To, as they say, free it up, legalize it. No. The Parliament, the St. Vincent and Grenadines wouldn't do that. We are proceeding in a measured way to create jobs and wealth.
Okay. Boy, that's a mouthful if I ever heard a mouthful. That's Prime Minister Ralphie Gonzalez of St. Vincent. Now, while you were listening to Prime Minister Gonzalez, a number of comments were placed on Facebook. I'm going to get to those. Hang in there. I'm going to get to those. But first, I would like you to hear from the Agriculture Minister, Saboto Caesar.
A very lively democracy. There are different persons with different views. My brother here, he's basically calling for the total freeing up of the herb. There are some brothers on the other side who are saying that we should take it step by step, and that it is a very good thing that we are beginning with the establishment of a modern medicinal cannabis industry. We started this morning in Parliament. We had several presentations. I went through the bill, and several persons have debated already, the Minister of Health and the representative for the constituency of North Leeward. So I expect over the next few hours there will be a lot more debates going on. And there are persons who have different views. And as I noted earlier, in a lively democracy, this will be expected. Some persons are wishing that we go straight to the legalization. And some persons are saying that we should not take it in steps. You should not approach it first with the modern medicinal cannabis industry. Some persons are also expressing an interest that they have not yet had the opportunity to hear for themselves what is in the bill for them. And this is particularly some of the traditional cultivators, whilst on the other hand, there are some traditional cultivators who are fully aware, who attended all the meetings and are fully apprised. So I expect and anticipate that when there is the passage of the bill, that there will be a period of further education and sensitization. But what we are seeing here this afternoon is an expression of the freedom of speech and expression. Persons are saying what they believe, not speaking against their conscience. And that's how we do it here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I'm happy to be here on the picket line with persons who have an opposing view. And they're doing so, we all are doing this in a very professional and sophisticated manner.
Okay, there you have it. That was Agriculture Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Saboto Caesar. Now, let me turn back here to Facebook for just a sec. First of all, Sharon Elizabeth Roberts Wilshire says, St. Vincent will take off economically. Okay, so says Sharon. T.F. Richard says, I saw this online with regards to the St. Vincent marijuana legislation. I'm surprised that Grenada wasn't the first, as we have a government that loves to be the first to implement this and that. Let's see where this goes in terms of its filtration into other member states. Then Sharon also comes back and says, America is too hypocritical. They want to keep the Caribbean in slavery. Thank you, Sharon, and thank you, TF. Now, so that's it. I imagine we're going to be hearing an awful lot about this in the coming days and weeks and months ahead, because there are a lot of people here in Grenada who are following this very closely. We'll see where it goes. There were some other, there were some other comments there. We've been joined online now by Judy Lewis Joseph. She's saying good morning and wishing us all a blessed day. And Veronica Sandy's also out there. She wants to know how we're doing, and she's sending God's blessings to us all. We need that, girl. And Irene Rattan is also with us. By the way, TF also posted something pertaining to the first segment that we did this morning. That was about the government's response to the unions. TF says here, George, when we listen to or read such statements, it hastens me to say that all that the government is doing is to put the vulnerable and less fortunate against the unions, etc. It's sad though, so says he. All right, folks. Woo, time is flying. Almost at the bottom of the hour already. We're going to take a little break here, and then we'll come on back with the national report after this.
Hubbard's, bringing you Frigidaire Christmas cheer. With the purchase of any Frigidaire fridge, freezer, stove, washer, or air conditioning unit, you get a free 3-piece Frigidaire non-stick pot set. Come into our appliance department on the Carronage and Building Supplies Grandance to get your trusted Frigidaire products and enhance your cooking this Christmas. Offer available while stocks last. Hubbard's, quality service, affordable prices.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try their sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Spread some cheer and show you care with GrenLec's Give a Wish promotion. Do you know someone who has had a challenging year and deserves some good fortune, or a worthy cause that needs extra support? Grant them a wish this holiday season with GrenLec. Just pay your bill in full, then write their name, address, and phone number on the top portion of your bill. Add your phone number and drop it into the wish box at any of our GrenLec customer centers, or you can enter online via our Facebook page. 15 customers will receive a $500 electricity voucher for giving a wish to someone who deserves it. And 15 winners will each have their wish granted, valued at up to $1,500. What's more, 230 lucky customers will win $75 electricity vouchers. Spread the cheer this year with GRENADA's Give-A-Wish promotion. Visit our website or Facebook page for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Promotion ends December 21st.
Why wish upon a star? For a bank is better by far. Whatever you're wishing for this Christmas will give you low interest and no fuss.
Co-op Bank is making Christmas wishes come true. Fix up your home, treat your loved ones, and get everything on your Christmas list this year with our no-fuss loans. As we count down the 12 days to Christmas, you can win awesome prizes every day. Special terms and conditions apply.
Christmas wishes come true with Co-op Bank and you.
Welcome home.
Opening of new wing at True Blue Bay Resort expected to increase room stock. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Wednesday, December 12th, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. Grenada's room stock is expected to increase in early January with the opening of the True Blue Bay Resort new wing, which will also mean an increase in employment. Speaking exclusively with the Government Information Service, resort owner Russ Fielding says the expansion has been in the works for 3 years now. He says the cost for the project is in the vicinity of 10 million EC dollars, of which 6 million have already been invested. He believes the investment is significant in a time when there's recorded growth in the economy.
We're putting in 21 new rooms. Those are going to consist of 17 standard rooms and 4 suites. There's 2 swimming pools. We've put a kids club in place over there, which is a facility for both our staff and for our guests. The staff, of course, a lot of them have got young children, so it's like a daycare centre for them, and the guests get the privilege of using it as well.
The first guest is expected on January 11th, 2019. The Office of the Integrity Commission says a commission of inquiry is scheduled to begin in the first quarter of the new year into the affairs of the Marketing and National Importing Board, MNIB. This was revealed by Chairman of the Commission, Mrs. Anande Trotman Joseph, in her message to mark International Anti-Corruption Day on December 9th. Lady Anande said in her message that interviews with individuals who have knowledge of the operations of the MNIB were scheduled to begin on Friday, December 14th, and the Commission of Inquiry into the matter will begin in the first quarter of 2019.
The ongoing investigation of the Marketing, National and Importing Board, the MNIB, has indeed received much public attention. The overriding objective of this investigation is to determine the effectiveness of the processes, systems and practices of that organization in recent times. The investigatory stages are proceeding in a very satisfactory manner.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
The safety on our roads make this a major priority. Health of our people, a crucial necessity.
Accidents happen when road users are either irresponsible or inconsiderate in one way or the other. Play your part. Reduce your speed. Be attentive. It is your personal responsibility. Let 2017 be the start of no more road fatality. Be safe, be seen, be smart.
So let's wise up as a nation. Get to your destination safe.
Continuing the news, the Grenada Cultural Foundation says the 2018 Christmas in the Gardens is a must-attend event on Sunday, December 16. Chief Executive Officer Shoma Wells says the 5th annual event is themed Essence of Spice as it encapsulates local talent, entertainment and spice decor. It also features a children's village and a lot of giveaways.
We're starting out at 3 o'clock as per usual with our children's village. There's going to be bouncing castle and that is for free. Face painting, trinkets will be on sale, and the children will have a wonderful time. We know that for sure. And then Santa comes in with his goodies, and that is when the excitement really starts. The children have an opportunity to have their picture taken with Santa Claus. I'm going to be taking one as well, so I hope you come and take one yourself. And they get a little gift, and they all feel very special.
To reduce operational costs, the foundation condensed the event into one day in 2017. But Wells says if the corporate community supports the idea, there is the possibility that it can once again be extended.
It is a costly operation, and it all depends on the revenue generation to keep something like that over an extended period of time. We have done it for about 3 years straight, and the cost is very heavy for us. So we decided to condense it into one day. However, we leave our lights on at least for an extended period of time over the holiday season. If going forward we can certainly have some more corporate citizens partnering with us, we're able to bring a greater cheer to the people of Grenada by ensuring that we can continue to do it for a longer period of time.
Entrance fee for patrons 10 years and older is $10, and children under 10 will be allowed to enter free. The Ministry of Agriculture and Lands continues to touch base with farmers to ensure that they are adhering to climate-smart practices and meeting market demands for their produce. Officials recently toured farmlands in the north of the area, as we hear in this Cherry Malcolm report.
The recent tour, held in the Northern District of St. Patrick, saw visits to 4 success stories in agriculture. First stop, Erlen Monroe's poultry farm at Moncraven.
First time we get them, we put in tampolin around and put in some heat light for them to feel warm. In 3 days time, we could just take out the tampolin for them to get some air.
How much workers do you have on the farm?
7 of us.
7. And that is the amount that they will be to do the entire processing?
Yes, okay.
Then on to Matthew Phillips' over 10-acre spread, growing mostly vegetables.
So right here we have just a little over 3,000 cabbages. That cabbage would be ready for the early part of next month.
And a whirlwind visit to a hybrid electricity project at River Sally, utilizing Mother Nature's inexhaustible supply of wind and sun.
You know, it was very difficult for me. I didn't have a pump or electrical pump, and then I realized you could incorporate the two of using wind and solar, and then I just decided, wow, that would be a really good idea. So I designed a small system, and it worked temporarily because I didn't have new batteries, so it worked for like 15 minutes, and then I wasn't able to get water in, and then Mr. Campbell came in, and then the mayor came and funded this state-of-the-art project.
The team of extension officers and farmers ended their tour at the Belmont Estate, renowned for its organic farming.
Our production is mainly based on compost material. We put in our compost material and then you put your plants on top of it, right? It is embedded in the soil. That way you ensure that you retain moisture contents and the plant will get the nutrients that they need to grow.
What if you have an infestation of worms, like your cabbage have worms, or rust mite or whatever? How do you control that?
Right, we have something called Nimex, and it is extracted from the neem tree, so it's not any synthetic. Right, it's a natural, right? So we use that, and we do some hand picking also.
The whole idea is an educational activity that will be carried out. The farmers will be able to see the different practices, the different methods and ways and things of doing things, especially in farming, in poultry, in solar energy, solar systems and so. So we have decided to make that field tour today and to educate the farmers along this line so that they will have a better appreciation for what is being done.
And that's the National Report. I am Leslie Ann Johnson.
With free island-wide delivery, Hubbard's Building Supplies and Lumber Departments continue to provide the best quality lumber, steel, tiles, plumbing materials, electrical and general hardware supplies at competitive prices. We continually consult with builders, homeowners and contractors to improve product range and services. Enjoy discounts where applicable, including the use of credit and debit cards. At Hubbard's Building Supplies, Grandance and Lumber Department, Caranage, we offer quality service, affordable prices, giving you the convenient, reliable, free island-wide delivery. Call 440-2087 for all your home improvement and building solutions.
Grenadian General Insurance Company, strength and stability. Grenadian General Insurance Company, tell your friends, tell your family. We cover householders comprehensive, motor and even fire too. Contractors all risk burglary, public liability, professional indemnity, directors liability, and wait, we still have more. Come and find out more what you're waiting for.
We are located on Scott Street, St. George's. For more information, call 440-2434.
Tell everybody.
Why wish upon a star? For a bank is better by far. Whatever you're wishing for this Christmas, we'll give you low interest and no fuss.
Co-op Bank is making Christmas wishes come true. Fix up your home, treat your loved ones, and get everything on your Christmas list this year with our no-fuss loans. As we count down the 12 days to Christmas, you can win awesome prizes every day. Special terms and conditions apply.
Christmas wishes come true with Co-op Bank and you.
Spread some cheer and show you care with GRENADABROADCAST Give-A-Wish promotion. Do you know someone who has had a challenging year and deserves some good fortune, or a worthy cause that needs extra support? Grant them a wish this holiday season with GRENADABROADCAST. Just pay your bill in full, then write their name, address, and phone number on the top portion of your bill. Add your phone number and drop it into the wish box at any of our GRENADABROADCAST customer centers, or you can enter online via our Facebook page. 15 customers will receive a $500 electricity voucher for giving a wish to someone who deserves it. And 15 winners will each have their wish granted, valued at up to $1,500. What's more, 230 lucky customers will win $75 electricity vouchers. Spread the cheer this year with GRENADABROADCAST Give-A-Wish promotion. Visit our website or Facebook page for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Promotion ends December 21st.
Alrighty, folks. Alrighty. Now, I mentioned to you, oh, by the way, please, George, don't forget the people on Facebook. First of all, and this is a little back and forth between a couple of folks on Facebook while you were watching the GIS report a couple of minutes ago. Peter says, "She for real? What taking so long to interview witnesses? Is it to give enough time to hide evidence? Months now, the PM announced that an investigation will commence into the MNIB, only in Grenada." So says Pedro. Then T.F. Richards says they cannot interview certain witnesses unless they have the approval of the powers that be. As simple as that. Sad though, just sad. So says T.F. Pedro comes back and says, by now the report should have been presented. I suggest the police conduct the investigation, or maybe a commission of inquiry opened to the public to get to the truth. Okay, guys, as always, I do appreciate your comments. Now, oh, by the way, Glenn Andrew Mark has just joined us from Michigan, sending one love to you folks out there. Thanks a lot, Glenn, for joining us. Now, let's get down to something I talked to you a little bit earlier about. Today, I imagine that vendors and tour operators in this country are going to be extremely happy. You've got not one, but two huge cruise ships anchored down there this morning at Melville Street. I'm going to show you some images of these ships. These are huge ships, okay? And I'm also going to tell you a little bit about them. Let's start with the Reflection. The Reflection, Celebrity Reflection, was the second one to come in. She came in, I guess about somewhere between 8 and 9. Take a look. There is the Celebrity Reflection. All right? She is a biggie, pilgrims, a biggie. And she was launched on August 12th of 2012 and made her maiden voyage exactly 2 months later on October 12th. All right, here's another image of that monstrosity. Yeah. Now, she was built in Germany. The ship is 1,000, get this now, 1,047 feet long. 1,047 feet long. And she has a beam, in other words, she's 123 feet wide. That's her beam, 123 feet. She has a draft of 28 feet. Now you're talking about the part of her that's under the water that you can't see, huh? 28 feet. Now, here's another image of that monster. That's the Celebrity Reflection. Now, let's take a look at the interior of that ship. Are you ready? There. Look at that. That's just one spot on the ship. She has 17 decks. Yaman. Big. 17 decks. And she can cruise, her maximum speed is about 24 knots. That's about 28 miles an hour. Now, let me take another look at another picture. Look at that. It's a nighttime view of one of the swimming pool areas on board. And I'm going to show you two more. Take a look at this one. Look at that. Kind of posh, wouldn't you say? Yaman. Okay, that's the Celebrity Reflection. And finally, I'm going to show you just one more shot. There we go. There we go. Now, I don't know how many guests she has on board this morning, but she has a capacity of 3,030 guests, that is, and 1,271 crew. So that's the Celebrity Reflection. She's only one. Busy day downtown today. Busy day. Let me turn now to the other monster that's in here today, and I say monster affectionately, because we're really glad to have these ships in town. Take a look. Take a look at this. This is the MSC Preziosa. She was built in France at a cost of 500, I hope you're counting, 550 million US dollars, and went into service back in March of 2013. All right, that's the Preziosa. Now, here is another shot of that same ship. Look at that, out there in open water. What else can I tell you about her? Believe it or not, she is even longer than the first ship I showed to you, which was the Reflection. This one is 1,092 feet in length. Can you understand, therefore, my friends? Can you understand why these ships aren't coming into the carenage? I think the pier down there is only about 800 feet. This ship is 1,092 feet in length, and she has a beam 2 feet wider than the reflection. Her beam is 125 feet, whereas the reflection, I think, was 123 feet. Let me show you another one. At 27 feet, her draft is about a foot less than the reflection. In other words, she doesn't take up as much water as the reflection. But hear this, she has one deck more than the reflection. The reflection only has 17 decks, whereas the Preciosa has 18. Now, you've been looking at the exterior of that ship. Let's go inside. Take a look. Take a look. Take a look. Posh. Yeah. This ship has twin propellers that push her along at only 1 mile an hour less than the reflection. Can you imagine? Can you imagine these two ships going for a drag race? Now let's take a look at the pool area, at least one of the pool areas on board this ship. Look at that. Man, oh man, oh man. I'm going to show you one more interior. There we go. Guess that's a bar, huh? Yeah? Okay. This particular ship, she can carry up to 4,345 guests. And she has a complement of 1,388 crew. 1,388. By the way, I was tracking her last night as she came in. From Trinidad. She came in from Trinidad this morning, and I was tracking her as she left Trinidad. You can do that online if you do a Google search for these ships. A lot of them they provide Google Maps, and a lot of them also have these onboard webcams, so you can take a look at what's going on board. One parting picture here of the Preciosa. Here we go. Take a look at that. Get out of the way before she bounces you, pilgrims. Huh? Please. Beautiful ship. Beautiful ship. Okay, so that's it for your cruise ships in town today. Make the most of them, folks. You got over 5,000 people in here today. All right. I'll tell you what, back to Facebook here. T.F. Richard says, George, before you close, can you convey to Allan that he will have to give us 2 days, 2 days for missing today? I will pass that on to Allan, T.F. Richards. By the way, I did receive a note that was signed by his mom. You don't believe that, do you? No, you don't. And Lydia James is also showing up late. She says, I'm so late. She's sorry anyhow. Okay, pilgrims, I'll tell you what. I'm going to take another quick little break here, and we'll come back and do our usual little wrap up. If you'll be kind enough to just hang in there for a wee bit, we'll get back to you right after this. Okie doke, folks. Almost time to pull the curtain down. It's just about a minute and a half away from 10 o'clock. Parting word from the Holy Scriptures. Your inspirational thought for the day comes to you from the book of Ephesians, chapter 3, verses 16 to 19. It says, I pray that out of his glorious riches he may strengthen you with power through his Spirit in your inner being, so that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith. And I pray that you, being rooted and established in love, may have power, together with all the Lord's holy people, to grasp how wide and how long and how high and deep is the love of Christ, and to know this love that surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled to the measure of all the fullness of God. That reading once again from the book of Ephesians chapter 3, verses 16 to 19. And on that note, my dear friends, we're going to pull the curtain down for the Thursday edition of Gudday Grenada. We had a pretty darn good morning here as far as the and interruptions are concerned, buffering and interruptions. Hey, maybe things are getting better. But in any event, the program is going to be up on Facebook shortly. And then later on today, it's also going to be up on YouTube. Now, spread the word. Like us, share us. Thanks a lot for joining us, and may the good Lord bless and keep you by his grace. I'll see you again tomorrow at 9.